Boker Tov, Boker O, good morning. It's wonderful to be here together on this first day of the new week. Boker Tov, and it's good to see all of you coming in as the time arrives for us to begin on this beautiful Sunday morning. A reminder as we gather together here this morning that tomorrow, being a statutory holiday, here in Ontario, it means that there will be no in-person minyan tomorrow morning, but rather we will gather here again on Boker Tov at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. Good morning, Karen and Lauren and Barb and Anita and Annette and Eleanor and Sulaim and Seymour and everyone who's with us this morning. Boker Tov, Boker Ol. Welcome to Boker Tov from Temple Sinai. Temple Sinai, Congregation of Toronto's daily opportunity to connect, to reflect, and to remember. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Stephen and Marion, and to all of us, and to Linda as well. I hope today can become a good day for each of us. It's a very difficult and painful start to the week as we acknowledge the recovery of murdered hostages by the IDF doing the recovering, as well as additional terrorist assault against police officers in Israel. And so this morning, we start the week with a reminder of the painful reality of the times in which we live. In order to face that in a meaningful and balanced way, we have to start with the miracle of our being granted another day, of starting this morning with the having slept last night and awakened this morning. We'll say a prayer for those who are ill and for those of us who are doing okay physically. We have this prayer to recite that acknowledges the miracle that is this day. So please join me in the Hebrew and the English. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatzar et ha'adam bechokma, u'bara avo nekavim nekavim, chalulim chalulim, גלוי וידוע לפני כיסא כבודך, שאם ייפתח אחד מהם, או ייסתם אחד מהם, אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. And we acknowledge the gift of the eternal soul that is within each and every one of us, that not only makes us the unique individuals we are, but keeps us in constant relationship, constant contact with the Eternal One. The soul that you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. Let's join together in our bracha for a Torah study, challenging us as we start the new week to start it by learning. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Va'arevna Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu, ובפי עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה אנחנו בצאצאינו, בצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך, ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ברוך אתה אדוני, המלמד תורה לעמו לישראל. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, These are the obligations whose value cannot be measured. They nourish us in this world and help us to create the world to come. Kibud av va'em, to honor our fathers and mothers. Ugmilut chasadim, to perform acts of love and kindness. Vashkamat bet midrash shacharit v'arvit, to attend the house of study morning and evening. V'achnasat orchim, to welcome the stranger. Uvikul cholim, to visit the sick. V'achnasat kala, to provide for brides and grooms. Ulevayat hamet, to keep faith with the dead. V'yun tefillah, to pray with sincerity. V'hava'at shalom ben adam l'chavero, to make peace when there is strife. V'talmud Torah keneged kulam, and the study of Torah is equal to them all. I can't help but think of the families of those hostages whose bodies were recovered, who were murdered just days ago. And so we joined together with them through Bog Shema and reciting Psalm 23 and acknowledging at once the beauty of our world and the way it's marred when people are forced by evil to walk through the valley of the shadow. Baruch she'amal v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who speaks that we might listen. Blessed is the one who acts that we might be witnesses. Baruch hu uruch shemo. Blessed is the one who decides that we might accept. Blessed is the one who has mercy that we might live. Baruch she'amal v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who removes the darkness that we might see. Blessed is the one who lives forever that we might believe. Blessed is the one who saves and delivers that we might be redeemed. And so we join together in Psalm 23, Mizmor LeDavid, a psalm in the style of David. With the Eternal as my shepherd, I shall want for nothing. I will lie down in a beautiful pasture. As I am led along restful waters, my soul will be restored. I will be guided along the paths of righteousness, serving God's higher purpose. Adonai roi lo echsa. Even when I must walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil when you are with me. Your strength and your support comfort me. When facing my enemies, your protection stretches out before me, sustaining mind and body. Adonai roi lo echsa. Only goodness and mercy will pursue me all the days of my life. I will live in God's presence for the rest of my days. Living in God's presence is a realization of the beauty of the world around us, as well as of what's lacking in the world around us. The Shema involves not just affirmation of the oneness of God, but acknowledgement that love, acceptance, understanding are supposed to be the core lens with which we look at our world, as well as Yetziat Mitzrayim, the exodus from Egypt, a reminder of the real experience of downtrodden peoples and how we must all work together to remember that experience and to take meaningful steps to carry forward those who cannot make those steps at the moment for themselves. And so on this first time in the new week, let's join together in affirming the oneness of God and our oneness with all those who affirm the basic human principles that make life livable. Please join me. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha. V'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. V'shivtecha b'vetecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha. Ukshautam la'ot al yadecha, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת. והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטור אחרי לבבכם, ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Well, we pause now, this being the first day of the new week, and we turn to our prayer of separation, our prayer of Havdalah, that acknowledges not merely the end of Shabbat and the beginning of the week, but says that this moment must be a testimony to the gift that we are given, which is to make meaningful distinctions, to understand what things are like and what things are not. And I would certainly direct you this morning, if you don't focus there, to the Times of Israel app or website, timesofisrael.com, where there's an article today about this idea of settler colonialism that's used as a bludgeon against Israel, Zionists, and against Jews in general, and that describes in very clear terms what that term actually is, and why its application to the Zionist project is political rather than substantive, is a polemic against Jews and not an honest and meaningful application of that idea. While that might seem obvious to those of us who understand what Israel is, I think the article is helpful in making a distinction as described here, as Israel in no way is guilty of that of which he's being accused. Well, in no way might be strong, in the sense that Jews did return to this land in the 19th and 20th centuries, in a place where people had been living for many centuries who did not want them there. That is where the overlap is. But the idea that somehow Israel is an extension of a power of some other place, and that the Zionist enterprise or even its recent actions have somehow been a genocidal action against the people who lived in that land previously, is demonstrably and completely false. And so we need to use our God-given abilities and challenge others to do so, to make these distinctions. Please join me in the translation of this prayer of Havdalah, which is traditionally this prayer recited in the Amidah, where we talk about the challenge of having a mind and intellect and knowing what is around us, something we must learn and teach. You have graciously given us the chance to know your Torah and taught us to observe your laws. Eternal our God, you have allowed us to see the distinctions between holy and ordinary, between light and dark, between Israel and other nations, and between the seventh day and the 6 days of work. Eternal my God, God of my fathers and mothers, may the days to come bring peace, free of wrongdoing and filled with reverence. Blessed is the generous source of intelligence. And we are with and are aware of the incredible dangers and risks faced by those who wear the madim, who wear the uniform of the IDF, and who face down the homicidal, genocidal, terrorist criminals of Hamas and their allies, who continue to murder with the goal only of destroying. And so for those who stand on guard for all the people of the state of Israel, for the state itself, and for us, we turn to these words of prayer. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל. הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל, ושאר מגיני עמנו העומדים על משמרתם. ישמרם הקדוש ברוך הוא, ויצילם מכל צרה וצוקה, מכל נגע ומחלה. וישלח ברכה בכל מעשה ידיהם. ויקוים בהם הכתוב, וכיתתוך אבותיהם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות. לא יישאו גוי אל גוי חרב, ולא ילמדון עוד מלחמה, וישבו איש תחת כפנו, ותחת תאנתו, ואין מחריד, ונאמר, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless the soldiers of the IDF and all who stand on guard for us. May the Holy One guard them against all difficulty and distress, injury, and illness. May all of their actions bring blessing, fulfilling the prophet's words. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, and may they learn war no more. May all sit under a vine or fig tree, with none to make them afraid. And together we say, Amen. Especially when we receive hard news, it is very meaningful to me, and I hope to you, to start our week here together, to connect to one another. And today as well, before we remember to acknowledge the reality of all of those who are facing illness and injury and isolation. Everyone who is carrying a challenge, a bad diagnosis, a need to move forward, to adjust and to build or rebuild a life, and to do so in a way that acknowledges the reality of suffering, but the power of love and connection, the way in which our connection and actions for one another can support and bring healing. And so for all those who are still held captive and have been and remain under constant threat, for all those who are isolated by age or infirmity, for all those who are unwell in any way, for those whose names have been given to me and given to Temple, placed in the chat for this or other services, for each of them, for all of them, we turn to these words of refuah. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא ירפא את כל מכותינו. יהי רצון מלפניך אדוני אלוהינו לאחל עמם ולרפאותם, וישלח לנו מהרה רפואה שלמה ועטרת שלום, ונאמר Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing and strength. Reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and let us say together, Amen. Well, it is so important for us to take time to connect and to reflect. And so now we likewise draw our strength from the eternal and from one another as we remember, recalling those whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. During the period of Shloshim, sorry, excuse me, I'm just trying to make sure I have access to the file as I need it. We pause and we remember all those who died in the last 30 days. And I'm sorry that my list, which has additional names painfully in it, there we go, it's open again. And so in the past 30 days, we extend our condolences to the families of Etty Haleman, Edward Sweet, Minky Lipson, Alan Gerskup. And it is our sad duty to report the death of our member, Joanna Sloan, wife of our member, Jules Louis, and mother of Iris Sloan Louis. Our condolences to her entire family. The funeral takes place today at 12:30 at Benjamin's. Additional information available on their website. We also remember all victims of terror and war, including those terror victims, those hostages that were murdered just days ago and whose bodies were recovered by the IDF. Hirsch Goldberg Poland, Eden Yerushalmi, Ori Danino, Alex Lubnov, Carmel Gat Almog Sarusi, and those 3 Israeli police who were murdered by terrorists, Arik Ben Eliyahu, Hadass Blanche, Roni Shakuli, and additional victims of terror in these past 30 days, Alina Daniv, Shimon Daniv, Gidon Peri, Arnon Zamora, Liron Yitzhak. And those IDF soldiers, active personnel whose lives have been lost in these last 30 days. Shachar Ben Nun, Yotam Yitzhak Peled, David Moshe Ben Shitrit, Omer Ginsburg, Yochai Chai Glam, Amit Friedman, Mordechai Yosef Ben Shoam, Ori Ashkenazi Nechemia. And on yahrzeit on this day, on the 28th of Av, the first day of September 2024, we honor the life and legacy on yahrzeit of Frank Burns, Jackie Kaplan, Mae Jackson, Julius Lowenstein, Tzili Shapira. Zichronam Levracha. May their memories be a blessing to us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn together towards sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chai echon v'yom echon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'gala u'bizman kari v'imo amen. Yehesh Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'al v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitader v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbarata v'nechemata damiran ve'alma v'imo amen. Yehesh shlama rabba min shmaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imo amen. Oseh shalom b'mbabav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imo amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember. And together we say, amen. Well, Temple is grateful for donation and also just a reminder that we will be together here again on Boker Tov tomorrow, not an in-person service, but all of us together here on Boker Tov. Temple is grateful a contribution has been made to the Rabbi's Discretionary Fund by Selena Shapira, observing yahrzeit for Tzili Shapira. Boker O, Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. Wishing you a good week, a good day, strength, and connectedness. Let's be there with each other, for one another, and for all those who need us. Boker Tov.